One of Malaysia's most controversial and publicized religious cases in recent history has seen a mother's effort to completely emancipate her children from the grip of their father has been the subject of widespread publicity and scrutiny with several layers attached to the case. Lo Siu Hong is fighting the Malaysian government for full custody of her children and the annulment of their conversion to Islam after successfully separating them from their father. Lo Siu Hong, born of Chinese and Indian descent in Penang, Malaysia, in the late 80s, but had to move to Kedah at just 5 after losing both parents to cancer. She had to live with her mother's relatives in an Indian community where Hindu was the predominant religion. She studied to become a chef and married her husband, Nagaswaran, shortly after. She took in and gave birth to twin girls who she had to take care for alone, as her husband would not allow her to seek for help nor help himself. For several years, her husband was very abusive to her, that she landed in the hospital multiple times with broken skin, bones, etc. She ran from home several times, but her lack of options meant she always came back after each attempt. The final straw was a hammer injury to the head in 2019, which resulted in 27 stitches. A friend to her sister found her in the hospital where she was receiving treatment and recommended her to an NGO in Penang. Lo filed for divorce and custody of her children from her husband Nagaswaran in 2019. She was granted interim custody, but her efforts to enforce the ruling were futile, as her husband would not budge. Lo claimed Nagaswaran hid their 3 kids from her and arranged for them to be converted to Islam to put them out of her reach. Her nightmare took a different turn about 4 years ago when she finally decided to separate from her. For 3 years after separating from her husband, she had no idea about the whereabouts of her children until her frantic efforts both on social media and offline became fruitful in 2021, but not all the way. To her dismay, her children had been converted to Islam without her consent. Notwithstanding, she made efforts to reunite with her children, first by suing for partial custody and later full custody in the court. Although she was admitted that she doesn't mind the children's new faith and would not attempt to change it, Lo has since then been challenging same in court. There are indications that the children still love their father despite his misgivings, and they often ask to see him. Lo admitted that he always showed them love at every opportunity while they were together, but would not extend the same to her. She described her husband as jealous and possessive, who would monitor all of her movements and challenge her every step. The legal battle has been dragging on for years now, and it's safe to assume that maybe the husband's plan all along. Lo is sought to retain full custody and annul the children's conversion in the courts. However, there are serious hurdles in her path. Perlis Mufti Asri Zainul Abidin admitted that Lo's efforts to challenge the children's conversion is a serious concern. He stressed that although the children may want their mother, that doesn't mean they want to revert to Hinduism. He further claimed that the children are already fully immersed in Islam, and they observe their prayers willingly, after confirming that they were converted in the absence of Lo. The welfare of the children is paramount to him and other Muslims, and allowing them to practice a religion they have come to fully embrace is paramount to that. Asri Zainul Abidin's comments via a video uploaded on Facebook was in an effort to dispel the rumor that Islamic authorities were blocking the mother from seeing her children, as this is completely out of their jurisdiction. There were claims that the children did not want to go with their mother, and this was further substantiated when they refused to go with her when they were brought to the police station, resulting them being placed in the custody of Government Welfare Department, JKM. Malaysia, a Muslim majority country, has some rules which are aimed to protect Islam, Muslims, and in the country. While the husband, Nagaswaran, recently converted to Islam along with the children, Lo, on the other hand, remains a Hindu. The law forbids non-Muslim parents to raise Muslim children. Lo is fighting this with the hope that she will be allowed to raise her children in her own religion. Since she found the children in Perlis, a state of about 90 kilometers or 1.5 hours drive from Kedah, where she resides, she has been drawn into a series of legal battles on different fronts. First, to claim custody, which she currently has. However, her battle to challenge the children's conversion has not been favorable to her. A judge dismissed the case earlier in May this year on the ground that the conversion does not appear to be coerced and that the children currently practice willingly, that one of them even have an ambition to become a Sharia lawyer. A Sharia lawyer prosecutes or defends cases in Sharia Islamic courts. This decision was arrived despite the fact that the case was tried in a Lo's battles with the court has garnered a lot of publicity and a lot of sympathy from the several non-governmental organizations and the general public in the process. In March 2022, an organization based in Chao Kit, a suburb in the nation's capital, Kuala Lumpur, Yayasan Chao Kit organized a crowdfunding effort for her to help set up her life and independently raise her children now that she has custody. About $17,000 was raised, and she intended to set up a food truck business, building on her experience as a chef assistant in a hotel and her passion for making food. In all, after several years of despair, it looks like Lo is finally getting succor and she can finally raise her children on her own. In peace, but with one caveat: they are now Muslims. She also recently instituted a suit seeking to punish her husband for the several years of physical abuse she suffered. After her suit to challenge their conversion was dismissed in May, she has since filed an appeal to challenge the decision of the lower court.